bringing you the news and information you need from the people making a difference. This is Comcast Newsmakers.
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Lisnick and this is Comcast Newsmakers. This hour's newsmaker is Curtis T. Hill Jr., Elkhart County's prosecuting attorney. Today we're going to be talking about prosecuting meth cases which have become so prevalent in our communities. Mr. Prosecutor, it's great to see you again.
Great to see you, Paul.
And last time we were here, this wasn't our topic. Meth labs are growing.
Meth labs have been growing substantially. It's been a major problem in Elkhart County for quite some time, but it's been a more dramatic problem given what we've done with the imported Mexican meth that was a major problem when I first took office.
Let's start there because when you came into office with the Mexican meth labs, your mission was to eradicate them. And it's interesting what you're dealing with now as a problem, but you were successful in that mission.
Well, what we actually were dealing with was Mexican imported meth. No labs in that situation. The meth was being made in southwest United States, being transported to this area, and this was a major distribution point. So in that regard, it was a very difficult process to get engaged into, and we were able to get into that operation with our countywide drug enforcement unit and essentially dissipate that imported problem. But what the difficulty is the demand for meth is still in the area, and that demand had to be met by some other sources. And so we then saw the upspring of meth labs in our community.
Now, you are not a police officer. You're part of the prosecution team, of course, but not the police officer. So talk to me about the role of the prosecutor when it comes to prosecuting these methamphetamine labs.
Well, we take a rather unique role in prosecution because while we are the prosecutor and we deal with the court function in terms of reviewing charges, making the filing decisions, and prosecuting the cases to conclusion, we also are sitting on top of the crime drug enforcement unit, our ICE team. And what that means is our office supervises the countywide drug efforts. So we are engaged in a proactive response to what's going on in drugs. We gather the intelligence, we work with the police at the street level, at the interdiction level, so that we can predict and anticipate what's happening and essentially structure and push along the response to opposing drugs in our community.
You prosecute people, they go to jail, yet the problem grows. Obviously, the notion of deterrence isn't anything that's working with these people that are selling meth.
It works to a degree, but it's not the solution because you hit it right on the head. And just like we said, we dealt with the importation issue, and yet the demand is there. We can do a lot in prosecution to increase sanctions, and believe me, we send a lot of people to jail, and we focus on the distributors, the dealers, the manufacturers, not necessarily long-term incarceration for users. But the real issue in drug prevention is really getting people off this stuff, people who allow to have their minds taken over by an illegal drug or any type of substance that is mind altering is at the root of the problem. And we'll never get a hold of this drug problem in this country until we are effectively able to convince people that there is a better way than to turn their minds over to an alternating or a stimulating drug.
My understanding is that 90% of the people who try meth will get addicted after one try. That's a staggering kind of statistic to hear. First of all, what is in this thing that is so addictive?
It's poisonous. It is toxic chemicals. It's the types of things, you have lithium batteries, you have Drano, you have degreasers, solvents, and these are very dangerous concoctions, and you're exactly right. It is highly addictive, very quickly addictive, and it produces a high that can last for up to 4, 6, and possibly 12 hours, as compared to crack cocaine, which is typically a high of lasting for a few minutes. So when you put those ingredients together, you've got a very, very dangerous, not to mention how dangerous it is from the environmental standpoint. It can be very dangerous to first responders who would come into a location not knowing what's there and inhale the fumes, or heaven forbid in certain mixes they can dose it with water and would create an explosion.
And have a blow up. Very briefly, people that are watching this, they're contemplating meth use or contemplating selling this stuff. You're a prosecutor, what message do you have for them?
Well, there's no point to it. I mean, if you don't want to do it from the standpoint of your own health, then don't do it because of what we'll do to you, because we will lock you up. And we've embarked on a public service awareness campaign to basically convince people that it's not worth doing and to pay attention to what's going on in their neighborhoods.
Mr. Prosecutor, thank you very much. Continue good wishes in your work.
Thank you, Paul.
This hour's newsmaker has been Curtis T. Hill Jr., Elkhart County's prosecuting attorney. I'm Paul Lisnick. Thanks for watching Comcast Newsmakers. Bye-bye.
The preceding was a presentation of Comcast Newsmakers. Now, back